first image of Modi-Xi handshake will be coming out. Remember, Tianjin SEO summit is being seen as a landmark diplomatic event which is focused on enhancing solidarity, regional security cooperation, trade and economic integration among member states. But that image which will be coming in from Yingbing Hotel in Tianjin becomes crucial because she will also be holding meeting with Maldives and Azerbaijan. But that troika, that image of the troika of Russia, India, China, which is also likely to come later today, but all eyes will also be on the Tianjin declaration, the details of which will emerge tomorrow. So who all are expected to be in that bilateral? Geeta Mohan, a word on that, because observers are anticipating a new development strategy, perhaps expanded technical and cultural initiatives, and also a greater role of the SCO in global governance.
Well,
go ahead, Geeta.
Well, it is a very crucial meeting. What is interesting over here, I'm being told, is Dr. Jaishankar, in a long time, maybe for the first time, has not accompanied Prime Minister Modi for this meeting. That itself is crucial. We'll maybe get an update from Gaurav on what happened and is he there or not. But Vikram Misri, he's a very important China hand, has served in China, knows China inside out, is going to be there for that crucial meeting between President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi. National Security Advisor Doval, the ambassador of India to China, as also the area experts when it comes to SEO and when it comes to China, that's the East Asia division. All of these officials are going to be there as part of the bilateral meeting between the two countries. Very important one, but one where we have to tread carefully and cautiously, Maria.
Absolutely. Gaurav, you know, there's a lot of expectations from Tianjin. Will you be seeing some kind of blueprint for the next decade? Is the question that is being asked repeatedly by observers.
Well, a blueprint for the next decade is on the agenda of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. You know, the role that Shanghai Cooperation Organization as an entity will play on the world stage. A bigger role in global governance is what they seek. More participation of the global south, and India and China are two countries that seek, you know, to represent the global south. You recall India's G20 presidency was all about not just African Union becoming a part of the G20, but also India talking about how, whether it's the COVID vaccine that is to be given to the global south countries or any other cooperation, India has been always.
Okay, so the news that is coming in, Gaurav, a quick update and then I'm coming to you.
Bringing the
that
global south countries forward.
Between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping, you know, it's very crucial because it's also taking forward what happened in Kazan. But that bilateral meeting has begun. Go ahead, Gaurav, give us the updates.
So that's the information that's coming in. Bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping has begun. This is to be a 40-minute long meeting between the two heads of state and government. Just the two and their interpreters will be there for the initial part of this meeting. So it's about half an hour is what the conversation is, considering that a lot of time is taken in translation and taking that Kazan process forward. So the initial thaw at the borders came at Kazan. The directions to their respective armies came from Kazan. And then now it's to see how you build that up and how do you take the economic cooperation forward. As Professor Chilani was also pointing out, that China is using this opportunity to bring India closer, given the tensions with the United States of America. But India is also using this opportunity, from what sources tell India today, is to see whether we get greater access to the Chinese markets, whether we are able to reduce trade deficit. Peace and tranquility at the borders is maintained. As far as the issue of status quo ante at the borders is to be restored, a point that army has repeatedly made. We'll get more clarity from the government that status quo ante remains, India's position, that both sides will have to find a solution. Right now, the buffer zones that have been created, and we had a conversation on that with some of our sources who said is only to ensure that tensions do not spiral once again. That's the aim. But a final boundary solution and a mechanism is in the work, and demarcation of border is extremely significant. That conversation between Wang Yi and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. So that demarcation and how that demarcation mechanism moves forward would be extremely significant, Maria.
So, along with the Prime Minister, Foreign Minister Vikram Misri, who has a great degree of understanding between India and China, the evolving situation and how it has been, is in attendance. Also is the National Security Advisor and Indian Ambassador to China. All of them are present in that crucial meeting, which is happening even as we speak. And joining us now is Einar Tianjin, Senior Fellow of Thaw Institute and Chairman of Asia Narratives Substack. Mr. Tianjin, really appreciate your time here on India Today. Let's get into your expectations. What are you watching out for in that crucial meeting, the bilateral, which has started just a few minutes ago?
Well, this was pulled together very quickly, so I'm looking at this as more from the optics. There are a lot of issues between China and India, but I think there's a huge opportunity for India in that the world is in need of a leader. India is poised. It has always been the balancer in BRICS and also SCO. And if it decides that it wants to take the mantle of leadership and not only act on behalf of India, but also the rest of the world, to stand up to a bully who, for no reason at all that is discernible, other than the fact that India is part of BRICS, has decided to impose these, monstrous tariffs. So I do think there's a real opportunity. I'm going to be anxious to see exactly how these bilateral meetings that go between especially Putin and Modi and also Xi and Modi, how they come together in about 9 to 10 hours when they release a statement, exactly what's going to be in there. It's not going to be the finish line. It's not going to be a blockbuster announcement, but it certainly could point the direction for the rest of the world.
Mr. Tianjin, do you think because of this looming Western pressure and the tariffs which have been imposed against India, 50%, the highest among any of the nations that the United States deals with, that is going to be a subject of concern that will drive India's approach to perhaps the declaration?
Well, but you hit it on it, but I think I would reverse it. The betrayal of the United States of India, interference in the elections, the color revolution in Bangladesh, the insistence that Donald Trump personally handled a peace situation he had nothing to do with, and then, signing on to an energy agreement with Pakistan, showing India the cold shoulder. No one can figure out why. I haven't heard anybody, and my only supposition is that what is happening here is that there's concern. Because it's not just India, it's also Brazil. They got hit with 50%, South Africa 30%, unknown as to China because it's fought back. It has cards that Donald Trump doesn't. And then Russia, another thing. But what do we have in common? They're all members of BRICS. So yes, this is the SCO, but this is bringing together 3 of the 4 original members of BRIC. And this is important. It's a signal to Washington that perhaps the game has changed. The bully, it can be bullied back by somebody who is bigger and represents a different view of the world. One that is not run from one capital, but run from the capitals of the countries, the sovereign countries that they belong to.